Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back to the Cosmo podcast. We are
Yes.
now in term 3.
Yes, had some of a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, things tend to happen that way so far as the term gets to its end. We get more.
Busier.
Yeah, we got busier, and then the cafe is just not helping with our. We get busier and busier with the cafe. Yeah. So what we're doing now, we're trying a different thing. So we are just recording our podcast while walking in the park. We are at the Canning Eco River.
Yeah, this is
Canning
where
River
we
Eco
had
Park.
our kayaking.
Yeah, we had our
with
kayaking.
the Kaswa family.
Yeah, it's beautiful because of winter. We'll be getting lots of rain. We see the river flowing beautifully, and you can see our daughters there just enjoying and climbing, and yeah. So, yep, one of the best exercises that I think easy and but doable is what we call rucking.
Yeah.
Just
so
carry-
what is it?
Just carrying a backpack, put some weights in it, and just walk. There's a lot of research gone into the benefits of rucking. It's said that it's weights for people who loves cardio hate weights. It's cardio for weightlifters who hate to do cardio. So you get some weight and just go walking. You get to spend time with your family. You can do it together.
Yeah, so it's a benefit all around. And I think if we are new to rucking, we can use water bottles
Yeah.
as weights, like
Yep.
milk bottles. And
Yeah.
so if it gets too heavy, you get too tired.
You just drink it.
You can drink it, or you can, water the plants.
Yeah.
And you can lighten your load.
Yeah. So before we get to what we did at Koswa, I think just sharing one of the things that we love doing with the family is just enjoying time
Outdoors.
outdoors. Last week, was it last week or the week before? Last week we went mountain biking.
Yeah, we went mountain biking
Mountain
and
biking.
dwelling up.
Dwelling up, yeah. It was Sumaya and Sakina's first time mountain biking. So of course, there's a lot of falls, accidents. But I think one of the benefit of doing such activities is it built resilience in the children.
Yeah, and there's something that we call proprioceptive intelligence,
What is that?
which is the intelligence of being able to balance and coordinate yourself on uneven surfaces.
All right.
And studies have shown that the more children are exposed to this kind of exercise, so that would be like bike riding, mountain biking, hiking,
Climbing,
orienteering,
yeah.
climbing.
Yep.
So those kind of exercises, it actually builds resilience. It builds mental stamina.
All right.
And
Okay.
it just works a lot of the parts of the brain
All
for
right.
us to build that mental stamina. It's sort of like a whole mind exercise. Yeah.
All right. So I think, and I think you can see the logic also in that building mental stamina and resilience, because you are exposed to little failures and overcoming those failures every single time. It's there's risk, but it's controlled risk.
Yeah.
You are failing, but not in a dangerous, life-threatening way, and you
Yeah.
overcome it. So you learn to overcome failures
Yeah,
over
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's important. As today, a lot of children get exposure to screen time, too much screen time, very little sun time or outdoor
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even with winter, it's really nice to just be outside. And at the end of the day, rain is really just water.
Yeah.
And
Have good gear, and that's it. You're good to
Yeah.
go. Have a good rain jacket. You're good to go, I think. Yeah. We went camping in the rain in winter. People thought we were crazy, but I think the girls had a great time. Didn't you guys? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they had a great time running in the rain, and then just we collect some rainwater, boil it, and yeah. And
there's a lot
have
of
hot shower.
one of the sunnahs of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is playing in the rain, or like,
Yeah.
being outside when
Yep.
it's raining.
So take home from this
Yeah.
short discussion, get out more, spend time with the family, and our favorite way is to just find places where there is just no connection. It's just
Yeah.
us and the girls people can't contact us, we can't contact people, we are off the screen, they are not on the screen, so we just pretty much stuck with each other, finding ways to entertain ourselves.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, that's a good way to bond with the family.
Yeah, so last term we ended with the mock hajj,
Yeah.
and that was very fun.
Yep. This is our third mock hajj,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we started. The first one was in 2019. That was the year that I led a group of Jama'ah from. Yeah.
So what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the year that I led a group of Jama'ah from Perth to go Hajj. And then 2020 we did another mock Hajj, and then COVID happened,
Yeah.
so we stopped things. And this year we brought back the mock Hajj.
Yeah.
And what is it? What is the mock Hajj?
So the mock hajj is where we pretend
Mm-hmm.
that we are in Makkah, and we have, little sites, right?
And our students wear ihram.
Yes, so students wear ihram.
Yeah.
Part of the ambition and the dream and the dua
Yeah.
to get to Hajj.
Yep.
And so they also get the feel
Yes.
of it, and that's part of multisensory learning
Yep.
that we are very big on.
Yeah.
And then we built our pretend Kaaba,
Yep.
and we built Safa and Marwa, and we had Muzdalifah and the Jamarat and Arafah,
Mina. We brought tents and
Yeah.
set up tents for Mina.
And I think this way children really get to actually see a little bit what Hajj is all about, because most of the time they just think about Hajj as going around the Kaaba.
Yes. But there's so much more, and
Yeah.
Tawaf and Sa'i is actually probably the shortest part of Hajj.
Hajj, yeah.
When you compare to Mina, you sleep at Mina for 3 nights, and then you actually stay at Arafah for a few hours, half a day, more than half a day. The Jamarat, those are bigger parts of Hajj.
And it was really quite interesting that quite a few parents commented, like, now they got a clearer idea.
Yep, they've been attending multiple Hajj courses, but if it's theory, because Hajj is very practical, and if you don't do it, and if you just sit down and listen, it's really hard to imagine that
yeah.
there's actually a lot of movements from one point to another, and it's just that's the crux of Hajj. It's not about reciting, it's not about like prayers. You actually have to read things, memorize Al-Fatiha. With Hajj, you don't have to memorize anything. It's just you going around, moving from one place to the other.
So we had, and then usually at the end of the tawaf, they get Zamzam.
Yeah, Sa'i, not Tawaf.
The end of Sa'i. We got hot chocolate.
Yeah. So week 9, we started discussing about Hajj, teaching the students the ritual of Hajj, or what we call the outer dimension of Hajj, what they need to do during Hajj, Ihram, the Wukuf at Arafah, the Muzdalifah, Jamarat, Mina, Tawaf, Sa'i, and so on.
We shoot videos.
Yeah, we showed videos. Yeah.
Of people performing Hajj.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, how did your students, the younger ones, react to Hajj?
I think when we were explaining the outer dimensions, it was very hard for them because it's something that is quite far away.
Yeah.
But the videos actually really helped them see what people were doing.
Yep.
So that was, I think, helped gel
All right.
for them all the processes. But the funniest part is when they saw Safa and Marwa, and how they saw the hill. Was it very high?
Yeah.
They were like, "Is that a hill?" So then they said when in Sa'i,
Yep.
they imagined the desert.
Yeah.
When Siti Hajar was looking for water,
Yep.
it's the desert, and then when they see the Sa'i in buildings with
Yep.
lights, they go like,
Where's the desert?
the desert?
Yeah, I think also with the bigger kids, that was the one thing that they many were surprised, because we tend to use the word Safa, hill, Marwa,
Yeah.
hill, and they saw Safa and they were like, that's not a hill, it's just like a hump, and that's about it. Marwa. So we had to explain that. Yep. During the time of the Prophet, and even up to a few hundred years ago, that was a real hill.
Yeah.
Then when they needed to expand, and included that part of into the masjid expansion,
Yeah.
they had to actually chop off the hill. Yeah. So that was week 9, and then week 10 was the practical Hajj, was the mock Hajj,
Yeah.
and I think that was the highlight of the term, and
Yeah.
many of our students really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Although some of them have done it for the 3rd time, yeah, they kind of really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our crew also liked it. They love doing this mock Hajj. And last week, the first week of the term,
Yes.
we spoke about Muharram.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah,
And we introduced the Islamic calendar.
Islamic calendar.
Yeah. So for the younger children, many of them, of course, know Ramadan,
Yes,
but they actually didn't think of Ramadan actually as a name of
a month. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I said, like, there's 12 months of the year, so they go, yeah, January, and get all the way to December. And I
Yeah.
said, but there's also the Islamic calendar
Yep.
that also has 12 months, and it's also got names.
Yep.
Then I said, Ramadan is one of it,
Uh-huh.
and that's the 9th month. But what about the other months? And they looked at me and go like, what?
What the other ones?
Yeah, so we sang songs
Yeah, we
to
could hear.
introduce them.
My students could hear your students singing.
Yeah.
Because we were talking also about Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awal, and
Yeah.
so on. They were like, and then they could hear, hey, are they singing the months of the year? I said, yep, they're singing of the months of the year. And I asked the high school students, yeah, this are year 9, 10, 11. I said, do you want to sing the song? Nah. I said, I thought so. You guys might be a bit too old for sing-alongs like this. Yeah. But we did.
But for younger children, it's really useful.
Yes, it is very useful. I think that's how we grew up, remembering a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's always a song for something with Islam. Yeah. And we with the bigger kids, we explored the history of the Islamic calendar, and how did it come about? Why was what does it mean? 1445 from Hijrah, and then and it's funny that quite a few of the students did not click upon them that the year 2023 is in relation to the birth of Prophet Isa. They know that it's Jesus Christ, but I said, don't you know that Jesus Christ is Prophet Isa? I said, yeah, we know, but it just didn't click. And they so 2023 is based on the birth of Prophet Isa, but with the Islamic calendar, it's not based on the birth of a particular person. It's based on Hijrah, because that is the turning point of Islam. But we also did an overview map or calendar of the entire Islamic history. So we went like, all right. So we had Hijrah, the birth of the Prophet, which is 53 BH, 53 before Hijrah, and then we had the Hijrah, and then we have 11 Hijrah is the passing of the Prophet, 11 to 13 Abu Bakr, 13 to 23 Umar, 23 to 35 Uthman, 35 to 39 and a half was Ali, and then Hassan, Ridwanullah alayhim ajma'in. And after that, it ended the period of the Khulafa Rashidin. And we have the dynasty, the Umayyad dynasty, started with Sayyidina Muawiyah, 40 Hijrah, and then it ended 132 Hijrah, 132. We have the Abbasid, and Abbasiyah was really long, and they were surprised to see that Abbasiyah was 900 over years. Although we also spoke about how it wasn't just in Baghdad, it moved around to Cairo after the Mongol invasion, and how we have the smaller sultanates, and then we went to the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was the largest empire, and then it ended very recently in World War One and 1918, and then official ending was 1924, if I'm not mistaken. And they were like, wow, it's not that long ago that Islam ruled the world.
We should have this timeline printed, maybe.
Yeah,
for the students.
yes. I'm working on just some a bit graphic, a graphical what do you call that? Graphics image design to we can make it into a poster.
Like really nice for the children to learn about our history. And there is this one really good book at our cafe.
Yeah, the Lost Islamic History.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about that
Yeah.
book. It's also one of our daughters, Maya's favorite book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after talking about the new year, we
Spoke about the inner
in a
dimensions.
dimension of Hajj, why we
Hajj.
do what we do, and I think this
Yeah.
is something that we stress upon at Al Qaswa, that everything that you do as a ritual, you need to understand
Why you're doing
why
it.
you're doing it
Yeah.
and how those rituals actually make you a better person.
So how did what did you explain about that one?
The bottom line about everything of Hajj is servants of Allah,
Yeah, even the ihram. Ihram is the
dress
clothes
of a slave.
right?
Yeah, so that's why no beautification. You're not supposed to be combing your hair. You're slaves. It's not that Allah doesn't love beauty. In other times, yes, you're supposed to look your best, and the Prophet ﷺ was always clean and dressed really well. But during Hajj, it's just a reminder that we are all servants of Allah, that we dress as servants. Servants don't argue. Your patience will be tested during Hajj. Buses are going to be delayed.
Yes.
Food is going to be delayed.
I think we heard from a friend who went to Hajj recently that
Yes.
they were in the bus for 8 hours.
From Mina, and then from Arafah to Muzdalifah, 7 hours. So 15 hours in a span of about 24 hours. It's challenging. It's testing your patience. But the idea is, if you can be patient under 50-degree heat with all that crowd, coming back home, surely it's easier for you to be patient. You're not
Sort of like
easily
a
triggered.
training ground.
Training ground. It's just like you going to the gym, or even when you do sports at school, you train. If you're supposed to run 2 kilometers, actual so training platform, and patience, so that when we come back to, we're not easily triggered. We don't get angry quickly. We're more patient, calm, and then we also spoke about how the definition of tawakkul, that running from Safa and Marwa shows us that as Muslims, we're supposed to work hard. At the same time, internally, our heart relies on Allah. But relying on Allah, tawakkul is not being lazy. You just sit back and say that, we just wait for Allah to do it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Qadar of Allah is qadar of Allah. No, no, no. That's not tawakkul. That's not the tawakkul of Sayyidatuna Hajar. It's about working hard, doing your best. But internally, you place your trust in Allah. That if Allah tells you to do something, sometimes it's hard. Do it anyway. Allah will facilitate and make it easy. So it's patience, it's humility, and it's reliance on Allah. The final point that I think is really important is the jamarat. When we see Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam with the jamarat, he moved from one spot to another. Every time Shaitan whispers something,
He went
and moved to another spot. He threw stones, recited dua, Allahu Akbar, through to the Shaitan and moved. It means that we have to all ensure that we are surrounded in good environment. That when there is toxic environment, bad friends, we have to move ourselves from those environments. It's not enough that we read dua, read dhikr, read Quran. No, we have to physically remove ourselves from those situations.
And I think that that's also like, when we are treating addiction, for example, in psychotherapy, smoking cessation programs, for example, we would always get people to remove themselves from the environment. Yeah, so if they usually smoke when they're out with friends, they sort of like take a little step back and spend more time
with friends that do not smoke. Is it?
Yeah, with friends that do not smoke, or going to a place where generally smoking is not allowed.
Right.
Like an indoor restaurant and eating there.
Yep.
Versus eating out in an open space.
Yes.
Yeah, so changing the environment to facilitate the stopping of smoking.
Yep. All right. It's interesting that there's a lot in what Islam teaches is in line with modern psychology. Shaping behavior and so on have been discussed a lot by our scholars since 200 something Hijrah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Abu Zaid al-Balkhi and so
Yeah.
on. Yeah. So how did you explain the inner dimension of Hajj to your children, the younger ones?
So with the inner dimensions of Hajj, we didn't really go in depth
Yeah.
so much. Only that we will always tell them that Allah can help you through
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Yep.
The main thing is when you get stuck, you try your best,
Mm-hmm.
then you ask
Allah to help.
Allah to help you.
Yeah.
And Allah listens to all of our du'as,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where we depend on Allah
Yep.
for. But what we did,
Mm-hmm.
we started introducing the prophets.
Prophets. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because for the younger children, it's actually it's so abstract for them
Yep.
that the 5-year-olds are
Yeah.
still very confused between Allah, our
Mhm.
God,
Mm-hmm.
and the prophets.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, they still get it mixed up, and that's really understandable.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just with constant teaching
Yep.
that it will come.
Yep.
It's just part of maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it something to do with brain development or?
Yeah, so children at the 5 to 6 years old, they are very concrete,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually need things that are tangible.
All right.
Like
Okay.
Salma just last night was asking me, Mama, we say Allahu Akbar, Allah is great, Allah is big. How big?
Yeah.
You know, so when I say like, Allah doesn't fit in a space,
Yep.
you know, it's beyond space because
Yeah.
space is what Allah made.
Yep.
Then he said, what do you mean that Allah is not? So he's like, how can he
Yeah.
not fit in anything? You know, so
I think even for us,
yeah,
spaceless space, timeless time is something that is
we
different.
can't actually picture it.
Yeah, we can't picture it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why anything that we imagine is just not Allah.
It's not all-
Y-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was what we told some, but we introduced the prophets as being the best people of all.
Yep.
Um,
So you're saying that there were also confusion about prophets.
Yeah, so it's for some children, besides Prophet Muhammad, they haven't heard of any
Other
other
prophets.
prophets yet, except
Yeah.
for Prophet Ibrahim because of the Hajj.
Yep.
So we introduced all the different prophets, and I told them how many prophets there were,
Mm-hmm.
and in the Quran about the 25
Yeah.
prophets.
Yep.
And some of them are named after prophets, like
Yeah.
Adam, Idris, and Ibrahim, and Yusuf.
Yeah.
And then so I spoke about these prophets, and again, we sang
Yeah.
the 25 prophet song
Yep.
just to get them familiar, and I sent them back with the names of the prophets poster
Yep.
so that they could familiarize themselves at home with the names of the prophets. So we were telling them that all of the prophets are good,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the prophets are the Rasuls that were sent were teaching
Yep.
towards the oneness
Of
of
Allah.
Allah.
All right.
Yeah, so that was they were so I was telling them, like, if you think like superheroes are really powerful or really cool,
Yeah.
like actually these prophets are the best.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're real.
And
They're
they're
not,
real.
they're not just fictional
Yeah.
like superheroes. Yeah.
And then telling them that the last prophet is Prophet Muhammad, and there are no more prophets after him.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no more prophets currently on earth living.
Yep.
And that's another concept that is hard as well.
Yep.
It's hard for them to think about following someone who has lived 1,400 years ago.
Yes.
So it's still an abstraction, but
Yep.
it's just nice to introduce them to it so that they will slowly know that it's already in their mind.
Yep.
So when the time comes when they actually understand, it's
Yeah.
very easily
Yep.
acceptable.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah.
So that was what we did.
Mhm.
We had a really good time with the songs.
Yeah. You've been singing a lot in class,
Yeah.
and I think soon we were also planning to introduce the sing along and story and sing along
At Coffee and
at
Dates.
Coffee and Dates. So we'll have maybe a few people from Gospel Qasida to just help with the singing and join the children at the cafe.
And I think storytelling is one of the ways that children learn really well.
Oh, it's not just children; it's
Yeah.
human because even in the Quran there's so many stories.
Yeah.
And it's interesting even the way that Allah tells stories in the Quran. It's really precise, concise to the lessons of this, a moral of the story rather than dragging along and us being distracted by unnecessary detail.
Details, yeah.
Yeah. So the stories are just great. It's
Yeah.
really.
We kicked off our first story time at Coffee and Dates a couple of weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah, that was good. Yeah,
Yes, to introduce
that was Hijrah.
Hijrah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're talking about Hijrah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking about the cafe, we have something happening this Sunday.
Yes, on the 6th of August,
Yeah.
we have Dr. Aminama,
Mm-hmm.
who is the author of the book Watering the Roots.
Yep.
And this book writes a lot about our goal of attaining Jannah
Mm-hmm.
and, basically our way home to Jannah
Yep.
and how do we strive to get there.
All right.
So in that book, there's also a lot of content about parenting
Yeah.
and how do we parent our children with that in mind, with the end
Yep.
goal in mind of Jannah.
Yep.
So I think it will be really beneficial.
So it'll be a dialogue.
Yes.
You will be hosting it between
Yeah.
you and Dr. Aminama.
Yeah.
So it'll be on Sunday, 6th of August.
At 1:30.
1:30.
Mm.
All right. So I think anything else that we would like to share?
I think that are the happenings, and
Yeah.
then the story time at the cafe is going to be something more regular.
Yeah, but we'll announce
We'll
when it gets
announce
closer to the date. But we're planning to do it once a month. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to thank some parents, especially the sister Wissam and brother Nick Faisal, who
Faisal,
helped
yeah.
so much with cleaning Qaswa
Yep.
on the weekend with
And
weeding.
Brother Faisal and his son,
Yes.
Farouk,
Yes,
Dr. Mariam.
yes,
yeah.
and brother Nazri,
Yep,
who helped
Brother
cut
Nazri.
the grass.
Yep,
and
cut the grass.
yeah, the backyard is so neat now, and we would really like to thank all parents who help in any way you can.
Yep.
We do depend on all your help. The parents who are running the library as well.
Mm-hmm.
Last notes, if you can remind your children to borrow books
Yes.
from the library, especially year 4 onwards, where
Mhm.
they are independent in borrowing themselves and picking their own books.
Yep.
It'll be really great for them. We have such a good resource that's currently being a bit underused by the
Yeah.
older children.
Yep.
Yeah, we're
All
going
right.
to get that going.
Okay, so that's all. That's a summary of week 9, week 10 of term 2, and week 1 and week 2 of term 3. So summary of 4 weeks.
Yes.
Not too bad. Yeah. All right.
Inshallah, we'll
See you next week.
you
Hopefully.
next week.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.